Hey everyone, and welcome back to Scandalous Media. It's Angela here, and it seems like awards are being given out for free. If that's the case, I don't mind getting one. Yes, I am talking about Meghan Markle being awarded the Woman of Vision Award for her, are you ready? Tireless work on behalf of gender and racial equity across the country and the world, and for her global advocacy to empower and advocate on behalf of women and girls. Am I being punked? I can name 20 random social media influencers who have done more advocacy in the 4 months of 2023 than Miss Meghan Markle has done in the past 3 years. She gives no moving speeches, ones that aren't plagiarized that is, and she doesn't do anything aside from talking about herself and complaining about the royal family. Literally, what does she do? Please let me know in the comments if I'm missing anything. This isn't a trick question. If you are a Meghan fan, let me know what she does to deserve an award for her tireless work. Stay tuned till the end because we will be talking about a different award she's being given for, archetypes of all things. Before I continue, make sure to like and subscribe for more Meghan and Harry videos. I've covered Harry's memoir Spare in several videos, and I finished an entire recap series on their Netflix soap opera, which I highly recommend you check out. If you want more Harry and Meghan videos, let me know in the comments and check out my Harry and Meghan playlist. While her husband Harry has his day job of suing the press and his night job of playing Hollywood hubby, it seems to me that the Miss Foundation for Women finds Meghan worthy enough of an award. Connections equals awards. Here's the kicker. The award will be presented to Meghan by her friend Gloria Steinem, described on the foundation's website as co-founding mother of the Miss Foundation. Ah, there it is! The reason why Meghan is being awarded in the first place. It has nothing to do with her Me podcast or her tireless work of trashing the royal family, but it has everything to do with connections. Gloria Steinem is one of the 4 women who founded the Miss Foundation for Women nonprofit organization in 1972. Gloria Steinem is a nationally recognized activist who has done a lot of feminist work over the decades. I don't really know how Meghan scammed her way into Gloria's life. Actually, I do know how. No, she didn't know her in 2015 when she was a random cable TV actress or any time after that. They met because Meghan initiated the meeting when she came to see Gloria in 2020 after moving to Montecito with Harry. Of course, 2020 was the height of Megxit and everyone in America was tuned in to see what this privacy-loving royal couple had to offer and what exactly they wanted. Gloria basically exposes that Meghan made the move to meet her, even crediting Meghan for the friendship. She says, "Meghan, I owe this friendship to you because I did not realize that in California, where I was sheltering on a friend's ranch, we were neighbors. It was you who realized that and came to the farmhouse where I was." Sounds like a stalker if you ask me. I'm kidding, but I'm pretty sure if Meghan hadn't married a prince and pretended to be an activist, Gloria would have called the police if some random Hollywood wannabe showed up on the property she was staying at. It was you who realized that and came to the farmhouse where I was. This isn't creepy to anyone else? This isn't like a bonus episode of You? In the wake of Roe v. Wade being overturned, Meghan picked up her phone and called Gloria. "Women matter," she told Vogue, and this is one of the reasons that I called Gloria immediately. It's always the people who are screaming "women matter" that are actually on the other end of bullying women. What happened to the personal assistants that quit on you after your bullying, Meghan? Or the staff slumped over on their desks crying as your husband writes in his book? What happened to women mattering when you belittled your sister-in-law, Princess Kate Middleton, talking about her hormones and how she has baby brain, and then gaslighted everyone when she told you you're not close enough for you to discuss her hormones? If you're new here, this is a real story fed to us by no one else than the crying prince, so go check out my video on that if you want the context. In August 2020, the Makers Women Twitter account posted this video of Gloria and Meghan in a backyard discussing representation and voting. The video opens up with Gloria telling Meghan, "Welcome back, I'm so glad you're home," to which Meghan says, "Thank you, I am too."
Meg, welcome home. I'm
Thank you.
so glad that you're home.
Me too, for so many reasons.
Is Is no one else tired of this over-victimization and babying of Meghan Markle? She wasn't on the streets in the UK, she lived on royal property and burned through the royal budget more than anyone else did. So excuse me if I'm a little tired of Meghan Markle being babied and pitied, especially after covering that snooze fest of a Netflix series where the over-victimization of this duo can really win an award. If Gloria is giving out awards for no reason, I don't see why I can't get one for my tireless work of exposing these two. The irony could kill. Meghan's profile on the Miss Foundation website says she is a passionate advocate for family rights and an investor in dynamic female-founded companies. Hold in your laughter. Advocate for family rights. Are we talking about the same woman who not only cut her entire family off, black and white, including her father who had a stroke, but also ruined a man's relationship with his entire family and isolated him from all he's known, is now being awarded for family rights? Are you kidding me? Investor in dynamic female-founded companies. Literally, what does that have to do with anything? Meghan finds something that's already established and then puts her name on it. It's not like she's creating anything new. Last year, Harry and Meghan were awarded the Ripple of Hope Award from the Robert F. Kennedy Foundation for taking a heroic stand against structural racism in the royal family. They were literally awarded for fighting racism in the royal family. Not in general, but in the royal family. Only for Harry and his 2 brain cells to admit a few months later that Meghan never called the royal family racist, and that his family is not racist, maybe biased, but not racist.
In the Oprah interview, you accuse members of your family of racism. You don't even...
Really?
Well,
The British press said that.
Right.
Did Meghan ever mention that they were racist?
She said there were troubling comments about
There was
skin
concern
color.
about his skin colour.
Right. Wouldn't you describe that as essentially racist?
I wouldn't, not having lived within that family.
And Meghan even states on Netflix that they were only wary of her because she's a Hollywood actress, not because of anything else. And thank you, Meghan and Harry, for proving all their suspicions true. Kennedy family scholar David Nassau called it somewhere between sublimely ridiculous and blatantly ludicrous, asking what in God's name the Sussexes had done to merit the award. 52 hours of work per year. On top of that, she and Harry don't work. They've done more work trashing the royal family than actually putting in hours, and this is according to real tax documents. According to a new tax filing made public last week, Meghan and Harry each put in only 1 documented hour of work a week for their Archewell Foundation in 2021. That's 52 hours a year on the books. Kristen Fleming writes a damning piece for the New York Post highlighting Meghan's incredible activism. Like that time she wrote inspirational messages on bananas for sex workers. And she used her 2019 trip to Africa to bemoan her VIP lot in life. She was existing, not living, she said, adding, "Not many people have asked if I'm okay." As a working royal, she made sartorial sacrifices, wearing neutral colors lest she overshadow those on the higher Windsor food chain. Meghan is, however, well deserving of a Whopper Award for her numerous royal tall tales, including gushing to the cut that a South African cast member of The Lion King compared her to Nelson Mandela. Only for the only male actor on that cast to claim that's not true. But who said she's not an activist? Archewell's public IRS 990 filing posted to Archewell's official website revealed that the Beverly Hills-based organization raised just over $13 million from donors, with $10 million coming from one generous private benefactor. So without that one person, who's probably another connection, they've only raised $3 million. An insider tried to defend them, saying that reports of Harry and Meghan hardly working failed to paint a factual full picture of the work being accomplished by the duo's charity. But what's being accomplished aside from rich people not knowing where to put their money, so they give it to Archewell? Archewell in itself hasn't done anything, and therefore Meghan and Harry are just rich people sitting around and being rich, not being activists as they claim. Awarded amongst real activists. I find Meghan being awarded the Woman of Vision Award amongst 3 other women who have done real activism, unlike sitting on an overly produced podcast and talking about themselves for hours, quite insulting. Imagine being Wanda Irving or Kimberly Inez McGuire or Latosha Brown being awarded for their decades of work alongside someone who just got a platform because she married Prince. The Prince, who was probably the only reason the Spotify deal went through, considering he was supposed to be in the podcast before he was randomly axed off the project. These women have worked to advocate for the injustice and biases that Black women or women of color face in healthcare settings, or fighting for reproductive justice, or working to bring social change by advocating for Black people to vote, especially with the history of racism in the US, considering the Voting Rights Act of 1965 was signed 58 years ago. These people are grouped with this woman. Here's a take in Meghan's favor. Royal editor Robert Jobson gives an unpopular opinion, saying that she does deserve this award because prior to marrying Prince Harry, she was out there on this area. Ever since she was a little girl, she's been speaking out about feminism. And because she's attending the event alongside Harry, that alone will make the event sell out in the name of feminism. Even those who try to defend her have a weak argument. At the top of my head, I can recall maybe 3 feminist things Meghan has done. The letter she did when she was a child, her visit to Rwanda and India if you want to count that, and her speech at the UN. I've done more activism in college in 1 semester. And the only issue here is that thousands were sending in letters about the dish soap commercial that Meghan never lets us forget. She has been exposed as posing for photos as she went with a whole glam team for those charity visits and spent more time getting ready than actually helping. And her UN speech was plagiarized from Eleanor Roosevelt in 1951, and then apparently she wasn't even chosen to be an official UN ambassador, so I think she scrapped the whole project. Once again, she's often seen doing things just for recognition, and if recognition won't be given, she dips. I made a whole video about the problem with Meghan's Archetypes podcast and how the podcast itself wasn't that good. And this is coming from someone who loves podcasts. I don't care who you are and how I feel about you. If you can provide a good time, I'll listen. And it's telling if getting through Meghan's podcast was torture. I couldn't even continue my series on the podcast. That's how much of a nightmare it was. And the podcast all about women actually ended with an episode highlighting men. But aside from the actual podcast, let's talk about how once again Meghan is getting recognition for something that she basically had to just sign on, and people don't like that. Shaded by Archewell producers. People exclusively revealed that Meghan has been named a Digital Media National winner for the 48th Annual Gracie Awards for her Spotify podcast Archetypes. I can name 2,000 other podcasts that have made more noise, from random YouTubers, influencers, TikTokers, even random celebrities, than Archetypes ever did. And Archetypes is always credited to Meghan as if she's an upcoming artist doing her best to make ends meet by producing, creating, and funding a podcast. The fact that there's a whole team behind the podcast, including elaborate scripts, producers who interview guests, and organizers, says a lot. And all this for a mediocre podcast. I've talked about this in recent videos. The podcast makes it seem like Meghan is interviewing her expert guests because they talk and then suddenly a clip of Meghan replying is inserted and giving her thoughts on what was said, only for it to come out that the producers are actually interviewing the guests, but the episodes make it seem as if Meghan is interviewing them. Rebecca Sinez, one of Meghan's producers, threw some subtle shade by posting the article on Instagram and saying, "Congrats to Meghan and the talented, dedicated producers behind Archetypes." This screenshot also includes Meghan saying, "This is a shared success for me and the team behind Archetypes, so kudos to her for doing the bare minimum there." Like I said, the issue was illusion of Meghan interviewing guests when she was really interviewing the celebrities only. This is not the first time Rebecca throws subtle shade. In November, she made a TikTok explaining that she basically does all the heavy lifting for the podcast, leading many to question, what the heck does Meghan do besides talk to a celebrity for 10 minutes? It's not like she's editing the clips.
They are the producers. Producers edit, research, write, make scripts, make the sound good, score. Everything you love about your favorite podcast is because a producer made it. And producers are being undervalued, undercredited, and underpaid. And it's making the industry boring and slow. Let's do better.
Anyway, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what other Meghan and Harry shenanigans you want me to cover. Follow us on our social media, like and subscribe for more, and as always, I'll see you next time.